Yes, so something to note about the book, and you'll know if you read the back cover, but there are mentions of domestic abuse, other forms of abuse. There's violence. I don't think we're over the top with the gore, but there is some gore. Um, it is all pertinent to the story, but if,
It
you
is
know,
called Motherhood's a Blood Sport.
it's called Motherhood's a Bloodsport. It opens with a pretty big bang in that first chapter, for sure. So, I mean, there's, you know, fights, there's murder, there's day-to-day life. It's
I
it's
don't really
very
think
weird
we're.
the way that it's interspersed.
Yeah, it definitely opens with a holy crap.
Yeah, a holy crap, oh my God, what just happened?
Mhm.
Um, so
And I think you learn who Norma is and what motivates her pretty early on as well.
yeah, so some of the themes are a little heavy, but
Super
in terms
heavy.
of that, some of them aren't. Some chapters are a little more feel good,
Like,
but
honestly, most of it is pretty slice of life stuff. I mean, most of it is like her friendship with her neighbor and her raising her daughters with her second husband and just normal, like, kids and the bullshit challenges they have in school. There is a big chunk of it that's about the kids and the kids' experiences, what they're going through, and just like one of the girls is in middle school at the time, and I don't know if you remember middle school, but even at 54, I remember middle school, and it was rough. So
yeah.
it's no different for Norma's daughters.
Well, and not to mention, this book really, most authors would have probably released it after a series as a prequel.
Yes.
It's it's the lead up to the main story. So there's a lot of stuff that's in there that is character development.
But I felt like for this particular story, honestly, that uh,
It has to start where it does.
I think it has to start where it does. There was a whole story before this book started, so if we ever do a prequel, it will be a prequel. So, um, for people who watch our podcast, you know that my first husband was an addict, and that my first marriage was abusive. So I did leave an abusive marriage. Blah blah blah. So does Norma. Holy crap! You know what I mean? Like who would have thought? So yeah, that's kind of mirroring real life. Um, and yeah, I mean, I really thought about doing to him what Norma does to him, but I didn't. So anyway, um, I don't know where I was going with that. Where was I going with that?
A prequel?
Oh, right. So if we ever do a prequel, because it does not go through what Norma went through with her first husband, there's little glimpses into it, so you just understand what's going on with Norma at the where the book starts. So if I ever do a prequel, the original book I was going to do was going to be about the marriage, and where this book starts is where that would have ended. I will write that book if we ever do a prequel. Then you
Yeah.
can kind of see what Norma was like before Norma became a mom in more detail, which
Yes.
she was a mess.
Um, yeah, I think you're gonna like the book if you buy it. I mean, the people who have read it so far have really enjoyed it. So, sorry, I still got the cough. Um,
Yeah, we had the Rona. I didn't. Everybody else did.
we got Rona'd.
Everybody got Rona.
I feel like there was so much more we wanted to talk about. Well, we talked about on the phone, like the way Norma raises her kids differently.
Oh, you mean about like the whole uh like the kids are different? Well, I don't think she intends to raise them differently, but she certainly deals with them differently.
Like her internal struggles with Dominica are different than her internal struggles with Erica because her kids are so different.
Yeah. And I think that's, well, I remember we talked about like how one child can perceive their mother one way and the other child could perceive her completely different, but they were both there for the same experiences, like, which is true. Uh, Maybe gets a little bit into that in the book, but in our real life, honestly, like Lauren, I think she views me as giving advice and being very, like, just wants what's best for her and her sister. And uh, she doesn't, like, view the things I do and say negatively. But her sister, on the other hand, um, feels pretty much like everything I say is combative, critical, that I'm judging, that I'm just being a pain in the ass, you know. Um, to be fair, she's not always wrong. I think I am more judgmental with her than I am with Lauren. She and I are very like oil and water sometimes. But sometimes I'm really not trying to be that way with her at all, and she'll perceive it that way because she's had whatever incidents with me. So she's like her hackles get up quickly. But then there are times when I think she's being just a jerk when she really wasn't trying to be a jerk because of, we just have like a different relationship where it tends to get more combative sometimes. Not so much really anymore. Like she's 31 years old almost. Is she 31? She's going to be 32.
She's gonna be 32.
Holy.
Because I'm gonna be 29 this year.
Yeah, I know. Guacamole, right? Yeah, she's going to be 32. So, and like I'm going to be 54 5 days after she turns 32. So I'm too tired to fight with her anymore or judge what she does. I don't care. And, she's going to be 32 and she's much more a woman of her own where even if she feels like I'm judging her, she just doesn't give a shit anymore. She's just like, whatever, mom, it's fine. So those kind of, if you have that kind of a situation with one of your children, it does change over time.
Yeah. Um,
Which it has a little bit to do with the book because, again, the Dane family is based on our family, and Dominica's character is very different from Erica's character. And the way Dominica feels about her mom is very different from how Erica feels about her mom. Norma loves both of her children pretty fiercely, and I would say she's way more protective of Dominica, who thinks her mom is a weenie, than she is of Erica, who thinks her mom is fantastic. Which
yes.
does mimic real life as well.
And
I didn't worry about Lauren as much as I did.
And part of that, the way it's written in the book, is because the girls are so different from such a young age.
Mm-hmm.
Dominica is so very sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Erica is scrappy, and
Mm-hmm.
she's got a very strong sense of justice, and instead of needing to tell Erica to defend herself or others, the issue is telling Erica when to rein it in because it's not appropriate to hit somebody over something that minor.
Right. Where Dominica wouldn't do that.
Right.
And then Dominica, as she, well, and not only that, so like in the book too, like the story starts out with Norma trying to protect Dominica.
Yes.
So her need to protect Dominica never really wanes because that was such a part of who she was becoming a mother. Like she had this child and this child, needed her protection, and Norma becomes that. So I don't think you just turn that off.
Well, and Dominica needed to be protected from a very real threat.
Right.
Whereas Erica was not anywhere near any of the chaos
Right.
that was Dominica's early years. So
Right.
it definitely shapes Norma in how she raises the girls and the kinds of things she worries about.
Right. It's almost like Erica knows the protective nature of her mother, but it's almost like secondhand knowledge,
Right.
and Erica is not really in any physical danger. Um, sh Norma's in a pretty healthy marriage by the time she has Erica.
Yes.
So it's not like they're having all this chaos. The chaos that goes on in their house is just because like Norma has a pretty her the way she does things and the things that she does are very much shaped by past experiences that were traumatic. And Norma is not going to let anything happen to either of her daughters, but Norma also isn't going to let anything happen to herself. Like Norma
Yeah.
is large and in charge. I mean, she's not large, she's
She's not
small.
large. She's
But I
actually
mean,
described as very petite.
yeah, Norma is very in control all the time. Norma is never questions her own instincts. She very much will get what she wants if she thinks it's the right thing. Um, like she will move mountains by sheer force of will if she feels like that needs to be done. So that's just who Norma is. And if it fucks somebody else's day up, she really doesn't care.
Care. Yeah.
Yeah, Norma doesn't care. If she feels like it's the right thing to do, she really doesn't care.
Yeah, and I feel like there are definitely going to be instances in the book where even if you can't relate to the way Norma behaved in that moment, you might find yourself saying, God, I wish I could be that person. And I'm not saying that because I'm like, you're going to want to be Norma. I'm saying that because I want to be Norma, because I see the instances in the book where I'm like, God, I want to make sure I'm like that kind of person. I want to be that kind of mom. When somebody like looks sideways at my kid, I want to be the mom to go hit him with a grocery cart in the produce aisle. Um,
What did not happen in the book? That happened in real life.
that happened in real life. Yeah, that was not in the book. That was real life.
Yeah,
Um,
that was this mom right here.
that was that mom. But like, that's the mom I want to be with my kids. Um, and quite frankly, it's nowhere near the mom I was when I first had Henry. And part of that was because I wasn't well for a very
Yeah,
long
that's
time.
true.
But like, my husband snuck up on me in the store. I didn't know he was there. Um, and I was holding our child, and I just kind of turned around and was like, oh, hey. Like, that is so not my baseline character. So if you're in a moment where you're like that, and maybe the mom instincts to protect your kid from what you assume is a stranger tapping you on the back in the store, um, that's okay. It passes. That's temporary.
Yeah, Jennifer, the mom, I was pretty in your face.
Yeah. And
Hmm.
I don't know. I haven't had a lot of instances where I've had to be that way. Most of my having to be more assertive with things has been with like doctors.
Right. And
So
that's good, though.
it's good. I mean, I'm glad, but my kids are also little, so we haven't been
That's
in as many
true.
situations.
That's true.
So
Yeah,
definitely something.
I definitely was the mom, like, when she was in middle school, there was a lot of issues or whatever. And I did drive a school
Yeah.
bus for that school district. So even after she was out of that school, like, I had to stop at the school one time to drop a backpack off that a kid left on the bus. My kids were out of that school for several years at that point already. And so I walked in to drop off the backpack, and the school secretary, which I had a kid of hers on my bus at the time, was kind of chuckling. And I'm like, what? And she's like, you know what? Your kids don't even go to the school anymore, and everybody still ducks for cover when they see you walking up the walk. Because there were just instances where I came in there guns blazing.
Yeah,
Um,
you came in hot.
I came in hot, and I came in with a very terrifying control to myself, and there were lawyers threatened and all kinds of stuff, but I got results.
Yeah. There's a section in the book, and I'll give you a little tidbit that that section is based on a real life event. Um, but my mother cracked a brand new office door at the school. Um, so this part in the book, the page numbers will be different, so I'm not even going to tell you the page number. Mrs. Bailey asked, "Is something funny, Miss Dane?" "Not yet," Erica said. "What does that mean?" Wait for it, Erica said with a smile. And I'm just telling you, that's based on real life. Those were real events.
Those
Like
were
sitting
real
there
events.
watching my mom tear into the middle school parking lot with a look of sheer rage on her face in her SUV, and I just started laughing. Because I knew what was about to come and nobody else did. So, there, I'll give you that tidbit, that little like sneak peek there. That is based on a real event and super funny.
And
Um,
how did I not lose my job at the school district, you might ask yourself. I have asked myself that for how many years? I really
yeah.
don't know, but I will give you this tidbit of information. Norma gives the same advice in the book because, again, Norma is based on me. When you say things with authority, you 90% of the time will get your way.
Yep.
So just
Say it
go
with
for it.
authority.
Just go for it. Let the chips fall where they may. Because believe you me, man, I should have lost my job and I maybe even should have done a little stint in jail. I'm not sure. But
Or at least a
didn't
fine,
happen.
like a vandalism fine.
Like I wasn't
You
fined.
kicked
I
a
wasn't.
door so hard it
It
cracked.
just cracked a little bit. It wasn't like I broke it in half.
Yes, but it was cracked. Forevermore, as
You
far
know
as we
what?
know. Like,
After you threaten to call lawyers, TV stations, and all of that, they pretty much are just happy you left.
yeah, true that.
True that. So don't be afraid to pull the lawyer card. And say this, and don't think I won't do it because I have the fortitude to see that through.
Yep, yep. I also like, you want to see attitude, I'll show you attitude. I said that to one of the like counselor people in college. So I was in this like honors program my freshman year of college, and I was trying to get out of it to sign up for classes for the next semester. I had already unenrolled from the program. They still had the administrative hold on my account. So I emailed the dude who like did all of that, and I was like, "What do I have to do to get out of this stupid program? I just want to sign up for classes." And he sent back this whole long thing, and I would be careful with my attitude. It's important not to burn bridges. I'm like, "Oh, you want to see attitude? I'll be in your office in 5 minutes. I'm walking now." And before I could even get up from the computer, I got an email back. The hold has been removed from your account. Because his office was just like 2 floors down from the room I was in. So that works too.
Yeah, sometimes you have to be. I know it's really. I know for a lot of women that's really uncomfortable. It is not uncomfortable for me at all. I rather enjoy it.
It really touches a nerve with me when somebody tells me something about my attitude. Especially because I didn't, I mean, I was not the most professional, but I could have been a whole lot worse for as pissed as I was.
Yeah.
Like, I held it together pretty well, but no.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes confrontation, like, I know confrontation can be, like, really uncomfortable, especially for women, like I said, but sometimes you just have to do it.
Yeah.
And it's, honestly, the more you do it, the more comfortable you are with it. So
And
my husband does not like confrontation. He really does not. So if like say it's something to do with like a product that there was a problem with or whatever, like he'll deal with it first. But if he feels like it needs to be something a bit more confrontational, he'll pass it to me.
yeah, and one of the things you can always do is pretend.
Mhm.
I'm not a confrontational person, but today I'm going to pretend to be somebody who is. It's acting at that point. You can kind of remove yourself. So today I'm going to pretend to be Norma when I go deal with the
Right. And I wouldn't suggest maybe going all
Don't go full Norma.
don't go full Norma.
Don't go full Norma.
Which
You might end up in trouble.
right, you might end up in trouble, yes. I never really cared. I kind of just let the chips fall where they may. I really did. Um, it worked out for me. But yeah, you got to make sure you stay in control of yourself, though. If you're gonna go Norma, don't
Don't go
go.
full Norma.
Yeah, don't go all primal. Just like stay short of that.
Stick
Don't
with
I
the
don't want you to end up in prison. Just say things with authority and don't kick a door. I That
stick
wasn't
with
good.
the just north of professional anger Norma.
Right, right,
The
right.
Norma who's going to intimidate somebody by threatening lawyers. Don't go with the
Don't kick the
um
door. That was
don't kick
bad.
the door in. Don't like
I didn't
I
kick
don't
it
know.
in. I mean, it was still on the hinges. God.
Don't threaten people with suppositories.
Come on, that was funny.
That was so funny. Um,
You can do that.
maybe.
I think you can do that.
Whatever you do, that's your own choice as an adult. I take no responsibility for it.
Right, just don't be afraid of the confrontation if the confrontation needs to happen, but just do try to stay in control of yourself. And swearing is a last resort. So you don't like always want to swear when you have a confrontation, but a strategically placed swear word when it's your third or fourth confrontation and you've been really professional on the others can be effective. But if you just start with that, then they're like, oh, okay, trailer trash. So,
Well, and if it's not something quite as serious,
which it usually isn't.
sometimes when you break from the professional, even with just like a dude, seriously. And yeah, I have called people dude in a professional setting when it was one of those moments where like didn't quite warrant swearing, but it did warrant a break of professionalism because like seriously, person to person, are you really this dumb?
Well, and another thing that Norma does that definitely works is keep a neutral expression and always look at people like you're studying them.
Neutral expression, the studying them like a bug under a microscope, and you don't need to yell. I know it seems like it should be obvious, but being able to maintain that calm tone actually works very well.
And if you need to intimidate somebody, just getting in their personal space and making them have to back up
Yep.
establishes your dominance. I know this is like really shitty, but I'm talking about situations that warrant this.
Yes,
Um,
absolutely.
as particularly as women, sometimes people don't take us as seriously, but I promise you, I've made men back up.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. So, study men and how they're physically imposing.
Yeah. And obviously, these are situations that would warrant it, not just,
Right.
you know.
I mean, in day to day life, if you have a conflict, you can usually resolve it like adults and just have a normal conversation. This is my take, this is your take, let's compromise. But
These are the things like somebody has been harassing you or your children, it is an ongoing issue, and you've tried all of the professional ways to deal with it.
I
Because,
actually had a stalker at work, remember?
yeah,
And I did, it was a man, and I made him back way up.
yeah, because, I mean, I handled things like that well enough, but I dealt with so much harassment from the school that freshman year, I got called into the principal's office, well, assistant principal. But she was my best friend's mom. So I was just thinking like it was a social visit because she was all sweet about it. And then the resource officer followed me in her office and I like threw all my stuff down on the table. I'm like, what do you people think I did? And the way both of them looked shell shocked. And they're like, no, no, you didn't do anything. I'm like, then why is Rent a Cop here? So, not a professional way to handle it, but there comes a point when you've been dealing with the same thing for so long that you just can't anymore. It happens.
Right. But yeah, particularly, and if you're dealing with somebody who's trying to be physically imposing to you, don't, you back them up. Don't let them back you up.
Yeah,
Because I mean,
absolutely.
those are like the nonverbal communication that people are doing to establish dominance. And I just will not let somebody have the upper hand in a situation like that. Not happening. Not on my watch, mister. Mm-mm. But I grew up with boys and I'm used to that. So it's probably why it's
So,
easy for me.
some of the, obviously, the biggest theme of this book is that it's Norma. It's a mom. She's protecting her kids. So we chose Motherhood's a Blood Sport because you did a reel a long time ago, and I cannot for the life of me find it, and I'm really sad about that. But it was really well received. So there's a
Well,
blurb in
if
the
you
front of,
read, yeah, I think that's pretty much what I said in the reel.
yeah, the blurb in the front of the book is pretty much what was said in the reel. Um, Basically, the depictions of motherhood are always very nice. And if you're a mom, you know that's not always the case. So
Mm.
I'm going to just read this from the front of the book. Mother is a role you grow into. It's providing needs, nurturing, teaching, and providing an environment where children can grow and flourish. It's kissing boo-boos, setting boundaries, mending broken hearts, and putting chaos into order. Above all, a mother protects her babies. Motherhood is a blood sport. Let the games begin. So, yes, it is all of those things. It is all the nurturing
Yes.
and the boo-boo kissing and all of it. And then there is the primal aspect of it. There is that deep, instinctual desire to protect your kids, no matter what. And that's where motherhood gets really gritty sometimes. And not everyone's going to ever be in a situation where they have to do that, where they have to be that aggressive for their child's physical safety. But,
No, but there are always situations where, I mean, like when you're a child, when they're in middle school and they have their very first boyfriend or girlfriend and they have that breakup and you see your child hurting. I know if you don't have kids that age, you're like, oh, well, whatever. No, not well, whatever. You really, something primal in you happens. Somebody hurt your baby. And I'm not saying you do anything about it because, of course, you don't do anything about it. Like, people are allowed to break up with your kid, but you'll have that flash where you're just like, you just want to protect them.
and there is science to back that up. When you're pregnant, your brain actually, when you're pregnant, your brain shrinks, which is stupid. But you actually have,
It's because more blood flow goes to your abdomen.
yeah, but you actually have new neural pathways that are created in pregnancy that basically wire you to respond differently. That's why women are more likely than men to wake up to the sound of a baby crying, because your brain has created a neural pathway to catch those tiny, high pitched noises and understand that the need for you is there. The hormones that are released postpartum, during breastfeeding, and in a lot of the situations where you might see your kid in something that you would deem as an unsafe situation, those are all hormones heavily linked with aggression. Like prolactin, your dopamine is different, your estrogen levels, all of it changes um, when you're immediately postpartum while you're breastfeeding. And then there are other hormonal changes that impact your brain when you see your child in a situation that might be dangerous or upsetting. That literally changes your brain chemistry.
Right. And I mean, there's like lots of different kind of danger. Again, this book is a fictional book, so it's fantastical and things that'll probably never happen in your life. You know what I mean? Some things might happen in your life, but a lot of it is like, a little over the top. It's fictional. But what mom hasn't seen their toddler about to fall off of something? What happens to you? That adrenaline pumps, you're ready to roll, you're going to get to that child as fast as you can, and it's not even something that you think about. Oh, I must get over there. It's an instinct.
Well, and you're going to have times where, with little tiny kids, when it's just a normal everyday thing, but something instinctually, you know the difference between an attention cry or a tired cry or a hungry cry versus a I'm in pain cry. And when you hear that I'm in pain cry, there is no thought in your head. You are going fully on instinct to get to your child.
Mm.
So,
And then again, like I said, when they get older, it doesn't have to be a physical threat. It could be an emotional threat. Like, oh, that teacher was mean to my kid. You immediately get really mad. Now, as a parent, I can tell you this. Every time your kid says that the teacher was a jerk doesn't necessarily mean every time the teacher was a jerk. So you do
yes.
have to, like, when you have that initial rush of screw that teacher, you know, you have to,
Rein it
so
back.
I will say one situation that happened, and I was mad, like mad. But Paige, she struggled in school. She was in middle school at the time, and a teacher, she came home really upset, crying because this teacher said she was hopeless. And I'm like, what kind of a fucking teacher said, like, what the? Yeah, I was angry, really, really angry, ready to ream her a new one. But I calmed myself. I decided to call her. I mean, originally I was like going to call the superintendent and everybody. Like, I was calling everybody. I was going to have her job. But I calmed down and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go talk to her personally. So I set up a meeting with her. I went in and I talked to her and I told her what my daughter said. And I said, did you say that? She's like, I don't remember saying that to her. And then she sat there for a minute and like was going through what was going on. So she was trying to help Paige with something. She remembered what happened. She was trying to go through something with Paige. Paige wasn't getting it. And the teacher got frustrated and she said, oh, it's hopeless, kind of under her breath. Paige took it as she said, oh, you're hopeless. When the teacher remembered what she said, I mean, I could immediately see the look of remorse on this woman's face. Like she was really upset with herself and she's like, oh my gosh, like I didn't mean for her to think that I was calling her hopeless and I will apologize to her. And, you know, and I actually kind of felt bad for her because I mean, kids are frustrating. And I've tried to help my kid with homework. I've been frustrated with her. You know what I mean? She made a mistake. It was an honest mistake. And, you know, and I just told the teacher, I was like, okay, you know, it's okay. Like, I understand. I'm like, but she did take it that way and it was really hurtful and she is already struggling in school. So, like, maybe talking to her and apologizing might help. I'm not sure. But she's like, you know, I'll do that. And you know, we can go talk to the principal together. And I was like, you know, I don't really think we need to talk to the principal. I just think that, like, when you start getting frustrated, maybe you need to get up and take 10, you know, before you speak in the future, you know.
Yeah.
But she was, you know, she wasn't an older lady. She was a younger. She made a mistake. You know what I mean? So sometimes, yes, you get really angry. Give yourself a little bit of time to be rational and go talk to people because sometimes people hurt your kid, but it was a mistake. So you don't
Yeah.
want to take their head off or make them lose their job or whatever over a mistake, you know. And
Yeah.
that's a learning thing for your kid too, because you know then she and I talked about it. I said, you know, and I talked to her and she didn't mean it this way, and people do make mistakes, and you know, and Paige forgave her, and they had their relationship was fine as teacher and student after that. So it was a good learning experience for everybody. But that was one of the few times where I put my more rational head on before I went in head on. So
Yeah.
sometimes it's good to do that too.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Do we have
Norma
anything
doesn't
else?
do that ever.
No.
Norma
To be fair,
never does that.
to be fair, the rational situations don't make for interesting reading.
They do not. No, no.
So maybe Norma did, but it's not in the book.
Look, Norma's really cool. Norma loves her kids. Norma's a pretty good friend. But Norma is not perfect. She is a flawed person who she doesn't ask permission. She doesn't ask forgiveness. She makes decisions on the fly and she lives by them. For good
Yes.
or for better or for worse. That's just who she is.
Um, do we have anything else?
I don't. I mean, is there something else you want to talk about?
Not that I can think of. I mean, I'm sure we'll think of things as soon as we're off camera, because that's what we do, but
But I
um,
mean, the book was a labor of love and I got to write it with my kid. That's cool.
yeah, I had a blast writing with you. I think we worked well together to make something that is interesting without too much extra fluff, but also without being so to the point that it's boring. Um, the last thing I wanted to say before we get off of here, and I have to move so you guys can kind of see it, we have merch. We have like
Yeah.
so much merch. So, Motherhood's a Bloodsport tank tops are available on our website that I will link in the description. You may have noticed we have a different link for our merchandise store now from the one we had. Part of that was so that we could integrate the bookmark sales, but the products are the same. They're the same quality. So like these tank tops are such nice quality. They really are, and they're comfy.
And I'm gonna wear
But
mine to the first book signing we do.
me too. But we've got tank tops, hoodies, bookmarks, stickers. Well, the bookmarks aren't released yet, but they will be soon. Um, Stickers, mugs, water bottles, tote bags. So there's a lot of options if there's something you do want for merch, whether it's just the more generic, like Motherhood's a Bloodsport stuff, which I mean isn't generic, obviously, it's for our book. But it's a little more universal, the sentiment, versus our podcast merch is pretty specific to our podcast. But you can get Don't Repeat What Mommy Says items, and you can get Motherhood's a Bloodsport items. So,
And yeah, the Motherhood's a Bloodsport stuff. Like we just have the rose from the cover on all of it, like on her shirt. We don't have Norma's face on it.
yeah, no, you don't have to walk
Nobody
around with
wants to
Norma's
walk
face.
around with Norma's face. Like it's kind of my face, and I don't want to walk around with it on me. So I wouldn't
Right.
figure you would want that either.
So, there are some cool options for merch if you want something, obviously, you know. Some of it's pretty brand specific. With the next book that comes out, we will be doing some mom rules merch, which would be even cooler for your favorite mom in your life. But that's not out yet. So,
Well, I don't know if you have a mom who's really in the trenches. I think a Motherhood's a Bloodsport would appeal, even if you didn't read
yeah.
the book. 'Cause
And if
Motherhood is
there's
a blood sport.
and if there's a product you would want that's not available, if you message us, I can check on whether or not we can get it added. We have a lot of customization options for our merch. So if there's maybe you're not into stickers or t-shirts, but you really want I don't know, notebook. So if there's another product idea and there's people who actually want to buy it, we can get those added to the store for the most part. There's a few limitations, but not very many. So
Yeah, the bookmarks were
the
actually we're
bookmarks,
kind of making those.
we're kind of made, well, we did make those.
We did.
I
We
mean,
did.
I designed the front and back. We're having them printed. Canva is printing them, but then we're actually going to put the tassels on ourselves. So I'm sure we will do some reels of our like family fun time hole punching
Well,
100
Grandma
bookmarks.
said that she would help put the tassels on. She's excited about it.
Oh, great! It's
She's
gonna
like,
be
oh,
like a
I
whole
can tassel. Yeah, it's gonna be like
like 3 generations of
three-
bonding.
three generations. This is what we do.
This is fun for us.
It is. Well, I mean, I'm really excited about the bookmark. Honestly, 'cause it's gonna be pretty.
The bookmark is beautiful, and I honestly can't wait to get them. Like I said, there will be limited supply. We're ordering 100. If they go really well and people want more, we'll make more, but
Mhm.
it's going to take time. It takes almost 2 weeks to get the order of the bookmarks in, so.
Right, and then we have to tassel them, and we have to.
And then we have to hole punch them and tassel them and mail them and
And right, and
update the inventory.
I don't want to rush it because I don't want your tassel to be off center.
Yeah, and that's actually why, like, in the design for the bookmark, I have the little gray circle on the one side, so we know exactly where to hole punch those bookmarks so they're consistent. Because that's my level of organization. So,
It's fun though. Yeah, no,
it's fun.
I
This
like
is fun for us.
it. Really is. It's definitely it definitely grew into more than I ever thought it would. Like the graphic design is just really cool to me because, like I said, I'm like, oh, what if we do this? And then all of a sudden, like 30 seconds later, she's like this.
Yeah, so
That's
all of our
cool.
graphic design stuff is stuff that I've done. So I have no background in graphic design. I
Yeah.
am learning as I go. So, if you do have tips, I'll take them because I really have no idea what I'm doing.
Yeah, neither one of us really know what we're doing with anything. We just kind of wing it. Like, so there's something to be
We,
said for fly by the seat of your pants people, I suppose.
yeah, we really kind of decided on the fly, like, let's go all in. We're going to do this business. We're going to hire this marketing company. We're going to make this book. We're going to design this cover. We're going to get it published. And
And
by
the
God, we're
bookmarks
doing
were
it.
dad.
Bookmarks were actually, yeah, my dad. It was his idea to do bookmarks, and I'm so pissed that we didn't think of it
We
first,
didn't
because how
think
did
of
we
it.
not think of bookmarks?
Yeah, and just so you know, Eric in the book, he is based on my husband.
Yes, and he's, I think, pretty true to character for my dad,
Yeah,
for the most part.
every woman needs an Eric in their life.
Yes.
Mm.
Um, Erica does not have a husband. There's no character based on my husband in book one. He's coming later because Erica's still a child in book one.
Yes, Erica
But,
will have a husband eventually.
and so will Dominica,
Yes, probably,
eventually.
probably,
Possibly.
maybe.
We'll see.
She'll
If
have a
nothing else, it'll
man.
be like she'll have a man. So there are love stories in there. There are characters who,
There's going to be, in book one, the only love story really is Norma and Eric. Like you get a glimpse into how much they love each other and just accept each other. Like they very much just accept each other the way they are, good, bad, and ugly.
yep,
And that is
it's,
kind of how me and my husband are. Like we're free to be ourselves and we're still here and neither one of us are perfect, God knows.
gotta be free, I gotta be me.
I gotta be free, I gotta be me. And thank God he's okay with that because I'm a lot of women to handle.
Yeah, so definitely keep an eye out for book two if you want to see some character based on my husband, since I don't talk, I mean, I talk about my husband a lot here, but like, not like his baseline person, you know what I mean? Like, I talk about instances within our marriage or things that he does here or there that are sweet. But there is going to be a character based on him in, I believe, book two, but not super involved in book two. I don't know. I mean, he's involved, but like they're not like together at that point.
Yeah, they get together, I thought. I thought
I
they
think they get together in book two, but there's going to be more about them as the series evolves, because, you
Well,
know.
sure. I mean, obviously, their relationship will grow if they're going to get married and have their own children.
Right. So,
Because, at some point, Norma's kids do grow up.
right. And so her kids grow a lot in the first book in terms of just number of years that pass.
Yeah.
The first book takes place over the course of
From, be-
14 years?
well, before
15 years?
Erica's born,
Yep.
through Erica was in middle school at the end of the book.
Erica was in freshman
Just
year.
starting high school. She
Yep.
was just starting
So
high
it's
school.
like a
So about
14-year
14
time
years.
span.
Yeah.
So there is a lot that happens, but it happens over 14 years.
It's not day by day of 14 years.
No, God,
It's
no.
a skip.
There's some skipping around, and we
And
tried
then
to denote that
they're
too.
grown up.
There's some skipping around, but I mean, there are, so like we have the books as we're writing them, we break them into sections. So the first section is the early years of Norma as a mom raising her children. The second section of book one is teenagers and raising teenagers. Um, so
Right.
book two will be split up a little different, but
And then, I mean, obviously, there comes a point where the girls are self sufficient adults and they don't need Norma to protect them and take care of them, you know,
yeah.
as the natural progression of life.
So I hope
So, how does
this was.
Norma handle that when her whole life has been taking care of her kids?
Mm, I'm not going to comment because I don't want to spoil it. So that was some just chit chat about the book and our writing process and us as authors. We talked a whole bunch. So Motherhood's a Bloodsport. It's available on Amazon. We'd love it if you subscribe to our podcast. We talk about all sorts of things about motherhood because that's kind of our shtick at this point.
Yeah,
Uh,
and you know what? Sometimes it's really poignant, and other times you probably won't agree, but we're cool with that.
yeah, we're cool
We're
with
not
that.
going to judge. You can take what you want and leave the rest. We don't care.
Uh, but yeah, leave us a comment. You know, if you bought the book, let us know some of your favorite parts and do all the things. This is going to be a long one.
Yeah, you know what would be really cool? If there's other parents, moms that do stuff with their kids, like do creative projects with their kids. I'd like to know what they are. It doesn't
Oh yeah.
necessarily have to be writing a book, but like,
Yeah, like what are you doing?
do you have
What's
like
going on?
creative projects that you do with your kids? I'd like to hear about those. That's fun.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna roll the outro.
Okay, yeah, roll it. Or we're just gonna keep on.